YouTube? It's your boy, the Memphis Accelerate, welcoming back to the 100 Days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where every day for 100 days, we're dueling with a different deck every single day. Today, everybody, is the 81st day of the 100 Days of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it is time to take ourselves a good old-fashioned look at our old fishy pals, the Ghoties! Everyone loves some Ghoties. It's like Chris Strawn's but in fish form. So we got ourselves our deck here today. We're showing off some Ghoti action. Synchro summoning on my opponent's turn, destroying stuff, banishing stuff out the wazoo. That's what this deck likes to do. We got the cards, the combos, and the wombos, the what do's, the what not do's. We're going to show off a little bit of everything today. So, of course, big old shout out to Mr. The First Alchemist, who donated today's deck to us for us to enjoy. So, we got ourselves our Ghoti deck. If you want to know the whole thing that's going to be in for it, the whole deck profile will be at the end as always. For now, hit up all the buttons below, help the channel out, and for now, enough talking, let's get some Ghoti action going. Alrighty, our first opponent of the day in another card game. So with our deck, we do want to go first. Ghoties are a go first sort of bunch. Then we'll see what kind of hand we get into here. Alright, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Big wave, small wave, good for later. But we're going to activate the most distant, deepest depths field spell. You can barely tell there's a new field spell because we have the starry background. But we're going to go ahead and summon out our lifeless leaf fish. Very nice start 'em up monster in this deck, because I can ditch a fish monster from my deck to that graveyard and just upon summoning this dude. It's really cool. And I also have my distant deepest depths field spell. I can banish a fish to get another fish. So we're going to go ahead and banish Shift for now by sending him to the graveyard and using his ability. We'll banish him, bring out another 500 points on this lifeless leaf fish, and we're all set up pretty much. You know, Shift will revive himself in the next standby phase, and then we'll be able to synchro summon on my opponent's turn. That's the whole idea of this deck. Let's see. Well, let's see. Add a Ghoti monster from the deck to the hand. I'm actually fine at the moment with that. We're going to summon out Merc of the Ghoti. Very nice little tiny baby fish. Actually, I'm not sure if it's a fish or like the lure of an anglerfish. It could be both. Anyway, we'll summon this dude out. Just a nice another monster we can have on the board. And for now, we will end our turn. Keep things nice and simple. Keep things nice and simple, and we'll do the complicated stuff later. For now, Shift is going to come back to the board. And we'll see what this dude can do. You got like a little Charmy or something in your hand? I don't think that would work on this, but you do you. Alright, so we got ourselves our setup here. Got our Shift, quick effect, synchro summon on my opponent's board. If this guy tries to lightning storm me, we'll be fine. If he goes for Raigeki, well, we're doomed. That's just how it goes. So, here's what's going to happen. Yeah, this guy's going to go for, Swordsoul, as you say. Okay. Let's go ahead and activate Shift here. Yeah. I'm feeling like we just immediately go for Shift and see where this goes. Like, if he chains off with Imperm, we'll just have to go for it. We don't have to just go for it. We will be fine. Because even if this guy does Imperm me, I can Torrential here. Wipe out the board. Next turn, I can use my distant deepest depths. Banish the fishes from my graveyard. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Had to bait out the Imperm, though. Had to do it. Alright, so this guy's going to go for his Swordsoul. That's fine. Let's see. I could Torrential now, but I'm going to wait just a smidge longer. Actually, no, that's a level 10 one. Is he going to sink? Yeah, he's going to make... No, he made Long One. Okay. Let's see... That's fine, actually. Long One doesn't negate the cards it banishes, so that's actually fine. Now, granted, he just immediately went into Yeoden battle phase. Oh, but that's neither here nor there. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't have a fish synchro, so my field is not safe from Long One's effects here. Let me think about this. Let me think about that. This is a tricky one for a bunch of reasons. We're going to go ahead and summon out Ixip, Omen of the Ghoties. That's going to go ahead and allow us to do a little something here. Plus, it has to be a special summon, yeah. So if I special summon, he is going to be able to do something here. So what we're going to do, in that respect, this is going to be a little tricky here. Let me think, because he'll banish whatever I summon, right? That is the whole point of this. Let's see. I'm thinking we still go for Adiampus, We'll go for Aromage, the Serpent of Ghotis. When this guy gets summoned, I can banish a high-level fish from my deck. This is going to let me go into Fix, who is like my main boss monster, main deck-wise. Pretty much the most important Ghoti monster of them all. You keep looping that dude all day, you all set. So what is this guy? Yeah, he's got his long wand. It's cool. He's got a very funny name. Cool. It's totally fine by me. Do what you gonna do. So what is this gonna do here? Uh-huh. You have the ability to banish me. Do you want to do that is the question. I mean, Effect Veiler. Alright. I see how it is. Torrential Tribute. I gotta think of them apples. Yeah, you can get rid of my trap card. You can banish that thing. Doesn't matter to me at all. I'll be fine. Because I'm still getting rid of your boy. All these hand traps, I tell you. All these mother flipping hand traps. Let's see. Yeah, you can banish Torrential Tribute. That literally doesn't affect us at all. I'll take damage, but that's about it. Alright, but yeah, Aromage will do his thing and banish Fix. Fix gets banished. I can banish a dude from my grave like Shift here, resetting Shift. And then Fix will return to the board. Now, when Fix hits the board, and mind you, this was all my... Was this on my turn or my opponent's? No, this is on my turn. Right? Yeah, yeah, this is my turn. So yeah, basically this is going to add a monster, then banish a monster. In that respect, let's see. Who do I wish to get is the question. That's a good question. Who do I want to get? Because it's going to get... Whatever I search will be banished. So I'm thinking I could go for Synopsis. Yeah, let's get Synopsis. Because this guy will get banished by that effect. Then Synopsis will have his effect to banish another dude from my graveyard. Like Keith here, who will then revive himself next turn. And we should be good. We should be A-okay. I mean, this will just get to my hand, but it's still something. It's still a little something. Still a little something. Let's go ahead and activate the most deepest depths here. We'll banish a fish from my graveyard. And this will search me out another Ghoti monster. And that's going to be very important for this. Let's see, I've already normal summoned. That's fine. We don't know what this trap card is just yet. I imagine, let me think. If that had been the trap that, their Icarus attack, I don't think that's what it was. Let's see. I can banish a couple fish to bring out Synopsis, which I might do. Hard to say. But let's go ahead and get Enoch, the Sentry of the Ghotis. Just to have another dude on the board. Let's see here. I'm going to use Synopsis' effect. We'll banish a couple of cards here. I'm going to leave Ariana... Well... I'm gonna bash Aromage, I suppose. And we're just gonna bring another boy onto the board. And because of Synopsis' effect, basically when Fix leaves the board now, he's gonna get banished. That way I can set his effect up again. So let's go ahead and hit this dude pretty hard in the face with our fishes. Slap him like Rolf would do. And we'll hit him pretty darn hard. Alrighty. Lord, I wish this was a quick effect. That would have been funny. But either way, let's see. I thought I could have also... Nah, let me think. If I go for Enoch, but that would cost me literally everything, so I don't think I want to do that just yet. So I'm all set. I think we're all set for now. So during the standby phase, a couple of effects are going to activate here. Shift will return to the board, and my opponent surrenders. Alrighty, well, that was a lot easier than when I saw it was Swordsoul, I thought they were going to put up a little bit more fight. If he made Cheng-Ying, definitely would have been a much more problematic opponent, because Cheng-Ying works off banished stuff. But my opponent wanted to go for the long one. You know, wanted to be long man about it, but regardless, you get a taste of what our deck is attempting to do. It wasn't the optimal starting hand, but we made it the optimal hand. We did our Synchro summons on our opponent. We were able to summon out our boys. We didn't get to summon out like all the biggest dudes, and that's going to be the focus of duel number 2 and 3. But for now, that's essentially what Ghotis do. We set up, we start playing on our opponent's turn, banishing our fish over and over, especially Fix, and go for it. So let's go for duel number 2. Show them what this deck can do. Alrighty, second opponent. Let's go and do it again. Alrighty, going first as I like to do. What kind of hand are we getting into? It's not exactly a hand that speaks with a mighty power, but it's something, I guess. Not what I would call an ideal hand, but it's got a little bit of something and everything in it. We got a little bit of everything. We'll see. we'll see indeed. I got Torrential Tribute, which is good. Got Ghoti Fury, so if I gotta remove stuff, I've got a monster to use it with, so that's good. And I got Ice Barrier, so if he attacks me or if I attack him, whatever happens, this will let me go in and do a fix. So, we'll see. And we'll see where this is going to go from here. Let's see here. Got Snoopies. It's not bad. Not too shabby, not too shabby. In this case, let's go ahead and Tribute Summon. Something you rarely see in this deck, but it does happen. We'll summon out Snopus. When this guy gets Special Summon, he can target any card on the board, and it gets banished when it leaves the board, which is good both for screwing with my opponent and getting my own cards back. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. I do have the Whitefish Salvage, an interesting tech in this deck if I wanted to recover things in the graveyard, which doesn't happen too often considering I want to banish most of my cards, but it's still a neat little thing. And it also, you know, if my opponent does destroy it, I can just search out a fish, which is great. So let's activate the Whitefish Salvage for now. See where that goes. Maybe a Harpy's Feather Duster me. Who's to say? Who is to say? But my opponent's having a bit of a slow start. I mean, my start's not exactly quick either, but I have a board established. It's not the prettiest fish board, but it's a board. All right, now things will get interesting. Reasoning. Oh boy, I have no idea what my opponent's up to. It could be so many things. Well, it does say top 7 fave, but I'm going to assume that that is a foil. Aha. Yeah, you thought I was going to pick 7. No, I'm a bit too smart for that. Good effort, though. Good effort. I like that you tried to screw with me, but I screw with people all the time. Therefore, that's not going to work. Let's see. Target a 5. Oh, yeah, it's going to be level 5 or lower. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to activate our Whitefish Salvage and get back Zep. If I get my field spell, I can do my craziest tech in this deck, so that'd be cool. We'll summon out Zep, Ruby of the Ghoties, and we're going to activate the spell card, Double Wild. This lets me search out a level 10 fish from my deck, so basically just lets me get out my Earthbound Immortal. You know, very, very, very niche tech card, which we almost never use, but if I can do it, I'll do it. I mean, also, I like to summon out cheeky tech cards. It's like one of the best things in this game, although my opponent apparently does not agree with me on that. Let's see, there can be only one, you say. Huh. Well, aren't you Mr. No Fun Allowed? Alright. Well, that is an unfortunate state of affairs. I mean, I get that you were having a bit of a brick, my man, but did that involve you having to go for floodgates? Alright, you don't need to play. I mean, I don't even know what you're playing yet. The only thing I know is he's got Prisma in the deck. That is literally all we know yet. Because my opponent will not do anything. And at this point, I'm going to have to do like a 4th duel to get the point of this deck across. Which is fine. I'm fine with going for a 4th duel. These are going, you know, the first duel was like, what, 10 minutes, something like that. This one, similar time, but maybe a little shorter. Hard to say. Hard to say. I haven't been paying attention to the clock too hard. But regardless, are you going to do anything? Okay, you are going to do something. Thank you. Thank you for doing literally anything. So this is Labyrinth. Freaking, what do you call them? Gate Guardians. Okay. That didn't come across at all. I'm sorry to say, my man, that did not come across at all at any point ever. Let's see, but I know how this card works, so I'm not going to just willy-nilly do things, because you don't even know it, but you're already dead, because this does not target. I'm sorry, my man, the Ice Barrier says no, so I don't know what on earth this guy was trying to do. I get he's trying to do Gate Guardians. There's easier ways to do it than whatever this guy was trying. So I get we take a win, but we're still not seeing the true power of Ghoties. So let's go for Duel 3 and possibly Duel 4. Keep doing what we're doing. We need to start Synchro something on my opponent's turn more. You know, that's what our deck is built to do. That's what I want to do, and that's what we're going to do. Alright, everybody, our third opponent, the fight in third. Let's go in all through and get our fish on the board. That's what we want to see done. You know, so far the Ghoties have just been a little slow to start, which is not typical of them. They're typically a lot faster than this. But I still have my Lifeless Leaf Fish, which I'm really glad I put this in from the side deck, because it's just a really good card to get ourselves started up. So we'll go ahead and use our Shift here. Boost up the power of my Leaf Fish. Let's see, I have Snopus, which is nice and all. but I don't think we're gonna go for him yet. But I have my Ghoti chain, which is great, and I have my double wild spell. Let me think about this. Let me think about it, because I could special summon out Snopus onto the board, but that would discard a card, wouldn't it? Let's just deck thin a little bit. We'll activate Doubles Wild. This will allow me to search out Shaku Chalua. We're not going to summon out anything right now because it's like a weird timing thing. So, you know, I wouldn't be able to special summon Shaku Chalua doing this, but I got him in my hand for later, so that's cool. You know, little cool tech card, Shaku Chalua. Pretty much my favorite Earthbound Immortal because he's just like a big old whale thing. Big old whale thing. Also, he's one of the only ones whose name I can pronounce. I think it's between whale and hummingbird are my favorite Earthbound Immortals, personally. Personally, I'd say those two. Anyway, what is my opponent going to do? That's a good question. I do have my Ghoti chain, so that's going to be great here. That's going to be amazing. So we'll see where this guy's going to go. I mean, I've got my shift. Got my Ghoti chain. I'm hoping I hope he doesn't just play like... Stank Wizards. We're actually playing these, what do you call it? Post-Goat Week, which starts tomorrow, by the way. So if y'all were curious, that's what that's going to be. We're going to go ahead and use this. We're going to get out our boy Fix. That way I can start doing things kind of on my opponent's turn. So we're up against the Stank Wizards. Now, good old Fix is going to activate his effect. He's going to start paying life points, as you do. That's how you gotta have to start paying a few life points before you can gain them in our Aromages, or Stank Wizards as we call them on this channel. And let's see, let's go ahead and add, let me think about that. If I get Zep, banish Zep, summon Zep, get out Askin. Remind me, Askin, can you banish anything or is it only monsters? No, it's anything I desire, so you know what, let's do that. I think this will work just fine. So we'll banish off our boy Zep. Zep will come back onto the board. Because I don't want him to... Can he? Oh yeah, he can't just gain life points right now. Okay, he's smart enough to do that. Alright, he's still gonna get his life points and all that good stuff. Well, regardless of that, as much as I'd love to summon Ghoti and Deep Beyond, that would be silly. So we're not gonna do that. Instead, we're gonna summon out our boy Askin. Now, Askin's going to go ahead and banish himself and my opponent's trap card. And because of Fix here, I'm going to go ahead and banish... who's in my graveyard again? Yeah, banish Zep in my graveyard. Bring back Fix. And it'll be nice and set for now. It'll be nice and set. Yeah, I could have left the fish in the grave to bring back Askin, but it's neither here nor there. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so he's got the Stank Garden. This will let him gain life points when he summons out his monsters. And normally this would be the part where I just start like banishing my opponent's board and all that good stuff. But I kind of want to let him do a little bit first, and then we'll do that. Just a little bit, and then we annihilate his board. That's the plan anyway. So we'll see where it's going to head off to. So yeah, I got old Aromage Laurel. Let's see. Summon that targeted monster. I don't think I want to do that. Let's see, wait a minute. Yeah, it's level 6 or lower fishes. Let's see. That's my extra deck. There we go. No. I could use my Merc to do something about that, but I think we're fine here. I think it's fine. What are you going to do? You're going to make Yasmin, of course. Then Laurel's going to... Oh, it gains you life points, right? Something like that. It's kind of the whole idea of Aromages, so yeah, he's going to use that to gain a few more life points, search out a plant, as you are wont to do. Right, just any plant monster. Okay. Alright. We'll see. Timing is going to be the key here. Timing is like majorly the key here. It's going to be very important when I hit my opponent here. Also, I do have Snopios, so that's going to be great. You know, I can just banish Fix during my, well, probably during my next turn, if I'm going to be honest. Let's see. Angelica, yeah, discarding itself. Gain more life points. And you can summon it back, and that's probably going to be my ticket to hitting this dude, I would say. So as soon as he's, oh, actually, maybe I should wait for him to summon what he's summoning. Hard to say. You know what? Just in case I'm underestimating my opponent, also because I also want to do stuff, I'm going to summon out my boss monster. We're going to summon out Ghoti of the Deep Beyond. Because when it's summoned on my opponent's turn, it banishes every card on the board. Every card, and he's going to come back next turn. For every banished thing in the graveyard of my... Well, it's just my cards, really. This is going to allow me to get, like, a whole bunch of attack on this thing. What's this doing? Let's see. Oh, he's still going to fusion summon. Alright. Still got a fusion summon out your Magnolia. And of course you had another garden. Can I be sure my card effect? Okay, that's fine. I'm mostly beat over by battle. I'm mostly a battle beater. So, not a problem. What else does this do? Nothing at the moment. Okay, cool. Alright, so Ghoti of the Deep Beyond is going to revive himself now. As he does. We'll see what my opponent's got. I mean, if he has one of those wind cards. Banish cards on the field, the number of human wind drawing you control. Okay, we don't have any at the moment. But yeah, we'll bring back our Ghoti Deep Beyond. As you can see, he's massively chunky, which is good for me. Let's activate Snopios here. We'll banish Fix, and we'll banish... I guess Shaku Chalu, unfortunately. I don't really want to, but I don't really have the option to go into him right now. We'll summon out Snopios. So, we'll activate the effect of Fix, just in case of Ash. This will banish the Keef in my graveyard, and then Snopios here be like, hey, if this leaves the board, it's going to get banished. But by whatever means, if that leaves the board, it will be banished. So Fix will come back onto the board. Fix will use his effect. Unfortunately, this is my turn, so there's less I can do, essentially, with this. But it's still something. Let me think here. Who do I want to search out? I could get Enoch. Let me double check something. Let's see. Add a fish, then banish a fish from the hand or the field. Okay. I think, yeah, just in case, I'll get myself another shift going. Just to double down on the shift action. Plus, it's gonna just make my big boss monster fish even bigger. So let's make Fix a little bit bigger. Because, you know, Ghoti Deep Beyond is going to get bigger anyway. So, let's share some of the love. Let's battle the phase and see where this goes. Alright, so let's beat into his Magnolia. If he has something to stop this, then there's nothing I can do about it. Dried Winds, paying 6,000 life points, and destroying my boss monster. Well, that sucks. It sucks a little bit. I was really hoping to hit him with that big old honkin' chonker. Oh boy, this summons our Aromage from the deck, because he has less life than I do. Well, ain't that a stinker? That's a stinker there you go. Alright, so yeah, he's gonna get out Jasmine, and he's just gonna get rid of Snopio. Alright, touche, salesman, touche. It's not over yet, though. Not quite. Not quite over, stinky man. Alright, well, during the standby phase, we're going to go ahead and get our monsters back. Good old Shift will come back to the board. Like so. And so will the Merc of Ghoti. So my opponent tries to summon stuff. This will be my ticket out of it. Alright. Things will be tricky, but it's what it's going to be. Let's see here. Drawing, get, you know, more life points. Get yourself another draw. Is that 2 draws? And you're going to try and get rid of my boy. Okay, well, if you're going to try and get rid of my boy, I'm going to have to say no to that. And I really wish this white Aura Whale would not miss timing as much as it does. Who is better here? I guess I'll go for Gwoglim. I mean, I would love to go for my whale, but he is a very finicky dude. He's a very, very finicky dude. Alright. Well, this is a tricky scenario we're in ourselves. As long as he has this dang old Stank Garden, he's just going to keep bringing his stuff back. Oh boy, Rosalina. Everyone loves that girl. Alright, now we got ourselves a proper duel at least, so... We got ourselves a proper duel. It took a couple duels, but we're into a proper duel this time, so I'm fine with that. Let's see... Yeah, I'd rather wait for him to summon something, like, impressive first. Alright, so you got your Stank Garden. That is what you do. You're gonna gain life points now, because that'll be a tuner, okay? Or you'll make anybody a tuner, that's right. Okay, but I gotta save him summoning something big for Keith, because then I can just banish that monster. Get me back one of my monsters that happens to be gone. That would be the best thing. Alright, so what do we got? Jasmine. Yeah, I better do this now. Otherwise, he's just gonna keep adding more cards. For now, though, let's see. This card special summoned. I can summon a fish Synchro, which if I had another Ghoti Beyond would be great, but I don't. So if that's the case, we're going to get a lifeless leaf fish, I suppose. The very least, it will thin out the deck a little bit. All right. Curse you, stink wizards. In your stinkiness. Also, my lifeless leaf fish didn't activate, but that's fine. And my opponent surrenders. Why did they surrender? What? Why you surrender? All right. Well, that was. I'm not sure why they surrender. I guess because I interrupted Jasmine, but at the same time, man, that seemed just a little premature. I mean, you still had your aroma gardening. You're gonna be able to keep summoning out aromas from the deck, and that's gonna be just like pretty darn difficult to stop, you know. So I don't know why he decided to do that, but regardless, let's go ahead for one more duel. I think we've earned ourselves one extra duel because we're seeing the Ghotis do what they want to do, but we're not having like as much back and forth as I'd like. So let's go for one more, see what happens. Maybe we're digging our own grave, going for a fourth and ruining a perfect record for today. I don't care. I just want to see the Ghotis do more stuff. Alright, everybody, our fourth and final opponent, the last chance at romance. Will the Ghotis get to do everything they want to do today? There's only one way to find out. So what do we have for... Okay. I love you, lifeless leaf fish. You are literally just... You're just here, man. I don't know how you're here all the time in a 60-card deck, but dang it, I am not going to question a gift horse. Alright. So we'll do the usual shenanigans here. I really wish I had my field spell. One thing I would criticize about this deck, only one thing, is there's no terraforming in it. Considering how useful the field spell is, you would think it'd be in here, but it's neither here nor there. Like, it's a card that I would like to have had, but it's not like a necessary thing, but it is a good thing, the field spell. Regardless, we'll go ahead and set up all of our cards. We'll end our turn, see what we're up against, because yet we don't know what we're facing up against. That is going to be the deciding factor. So, yeah, we're pretty set in regards to this. We'll get our boy Schiff back on the board. Is Schiff a boy or a girl? Who can even tell? I don't even know if Schiff knows. I guess it don't really matter either way. But, yeah, we got Schiff on the board. Yeah, he's going to immediately be like, pardon? Oh, right, it's in standby. Oh, boy, that's not good. That's not good. That's stop Schiff. That's not great. It's a good thing I had backup plans. All right, what are we up against? Stand up Centurions. Let's see. Send a card from hand to the graveyard. Place a Centurion monster. I think... unfortunately, Ghoti Fury only works on monsters. That's right. Ugh. It's not exactly an ideal scenario by any standards. Oh, and he had mulch armies. Okay, that's interesting, I guess. All right. So we have to deal with the Centurion monsters. Pretty beefy bunch they can be with the night setup. And unfortunately, I'm not playing any, like, back row removal. That would have been pretty neat. Although, yeah, just having D-Fissure would have been perfect. That would have definitely been perfect right there if I had D-Fissure. I'm just going to play this just to, like, get it out of the way. I mean, obviously, Schiff is negated, but he doesn't know that. So what does this do? Place this card and Centurion from the hand or deck into the spell trap zone. One being Primera, the other one being Altry. And I think this, I think a lot of them can change their levels, right? This one doesn't. But Primera does allow him to get a Centurion card. I believe we go, yeah, to the hand. He's going to get the counter trap, interestingly enough. Okay. And you got the gargoyle. Got the goyle. All right. Let me think about this. All right. We're gonna try something here. We're gonna try something here. So he's gonna summon out his Centurion Gargoyle. That's gonna activate his field spell, but I'm gonna like immediately torrential here. I'm just gonna nuke the board. I'm just gonna get rid of all the monsters on the board. I think that is a better move than anything else. So that way it gets his monsters off the board. Yeah, he's got Bestial Druzworm. All right. Well, that's neither here nor there. Can't really do anything about that. All right. Druid's Worm is at least upon the board. And then this will... Oh, summon himself. Okay, cool. This is why we pack more than one of these. Specifically for this. Alrighty. And we already know what his face down is, so that's good. And this trap only works the turn it's played, so that's great. Let's see. I could banish Zep to bring banish Shift, I suppose. Do I want to do that? That is a good question. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, just to have more monsters on the board. Next turn. So, not an ideal scenario we are faced with at the moment, but it's really just gonna have to... We're just gonna have to go for it and hope for the best at this point. You know, at least I have a monster on the board. Maybe not the monster I wanted. Maybe not the monster I need either, but it's something. Because, yeah, the field spell only searches on a card when it's played, so that's like my saving grace here. Ooh, Ready Fusion. Don't mind if I yes. I don't need life points, I need fish. Specifically this fish. Rare fish. Alrighty. Let's get our boy Ariampos on the board. I could go for the white guys too, but, you know, Ariampos is going to do me more work here. He's going to do me all the good work, because he's going to ditch my boy Fisk. How do you guys at home pronounce this guy's name? I always call him like Fisk, but I get how I do it's Fisk. I'm not sure how you pronounce that name. Regardless, we're gonna go ahead and banish Shift from the grave, set him back up, and go for our boy the Moonlight. Good old Fisk. And that's gonna let me search out a guy. Let's see. Let's get our Keef, yeah, and then banish him for next turn, and we should be pretty set here. This ought to do us some good work. Alrighty. Alrighty. So yeah, Centurions, pretty nasty bunch when they get started up. They can just set up for days and just get their monsters back in the spell trap zone, synchro summon out the wazoo. But if you double torrential them, they're not going to have a great time. But we should be all set up here, because now in the standby phase, both of my fishes are going to come back, and my opponent surrenders. Alright. Well, this is getting a little ridiculous. Let's just go for the end screen. I think we're just going to have a lot of people surrendering today. So let's go for the end screen and talk more about the Ghoti deck. Alrighty, everybody. So our Ghoti deck did pretty darn good today. Although we never got to see like the full scope of their power. We did at least get to see bits and bops of it. You know, we got to summon out a lot of the Ghoti monsters. We summoned out our Ghoti of the Beyond. We summoned Askin and Ariampos and our boy Fizz. Again, comments. How do you pronounce this dude's name? I don't know. But regardless, we got to do what our Ghotis like to do. We got to set up, synchro on the opponent's board. It's pretty dang straightforward, and that's what I like about it. You know, it's like Tristron's, but with like just more straightforwardness than what those guys do. So, thank you for watching, everybody. Another episode of the 100 Days Yu-Gi-Oh! If you liked it, don't forget to hit the like button and all the other good buttons down below. Comment in the comments what you guys think this guy's name is pronounced as. And here's the deck profile for anyone who wanted to see our Ghoti deck and try it out for themselves. So for our main deck, our cheeky tech today is good old Earthbound Immortal Shaku Shalua, which is just a nice dude. I can put him in defense mode and inflict damage to half its defense points. My opponent can't attack this dude and all that good stuff, as most Earthbound Immortals be. Just a nice little dude if you need to stall the opponent or finish off a lingering opponent. It's also just a funny little fish guy. As for our threes, we got things like Fists, which is absolutely must-have in this deck, especially at 3. We have 2 copies of Enoch, the Century of Ghoti, and 2 copies of Snopios, the Shade of Ghoti. We usually have these at 3, but I found 2 of each of these is just fine. We have ourselves our 3 copies of the Lifeless Leaf Fish, just a normal Sunroll startup up for our deck combined with Fish. We have 3 copies of Exceep, the Omen of Ghoti, which we can special summon if we happen to banish one of our fishes. 3 copies of Keef, the Merc of the Ghoti, which can interrupt my opponent's special summons by shuffling back, banishing himself and opponent's monster, bringing back a banished fish. Takes setup, but it's pretty dang good. 3 copies of Zep, the Ruby of Ghoti, to allow for additional synchroing on my opponent's turn, especially combined with Fists. We have 3 copies of Shift the Fairy as our main tuner monster. Same sort of deal. This guy gets banished, next turn comes back, synchro summons. 2 copies of Big Wave, Small Wave is another cheeky tech card. You pop one of your little boys that you need to have in the graveyard. and then you can summon out big fish from the hand. Pardon me. Yes, but yeah, that's big wave, small wave. And then we have things like Ready Fusion to turbo out our big fishes if we need to have synchro materials and stuff. 3 copies of Moray of Avarice to banish fish monsters, especially the fusions or what have you. Draw more cards. 3 copies of Fury of Kyrian, searches out my torrential, protects me from field nukes. All the good stuff. 2 copies Double Wild, which can summon out Chaku Chalua to the hand. Although it's sometimes in testing, yeah, like if you search out Chaku Chalua with this, you can't like immediately special summon him, which is a problematic thing, but you know, you can discard other cards and summon out other cards as well. So it really just depends on what we got. And it can make summoning Chaku useful, but you need to have a handful of monsters to make it really work. 3 copies of Whitefish Salvage. If you don't have Deep Fissure and you need to have things in the graveyard, or you just have them in general, you need to recover them, you got this spell. If your opponent blows it up, you search out any fish or summon it, especially this. And 3 copies Deep Fissure. You know, all of our guys like to be banished for the most part. Now, maybe not already on post, but things like Fist love to be banished. Things like Snopios like to get banished. Things like Zep and Shift like to be banished. So, the good for us, bad for the opponent sort of card. 3 copies of the Most Distant Deepest Depths field spell, which can not be destroyed or banished by card effects while I have a synchro on the board. I can banish fish to add other Ghotis, and if a fish gets summoned out, I can banish it to recover this from the graveyard, so it's pretty dang useful. 3 copies of the Icebound God for negating my opponent's monsters, stopping them from attacking, that whole thing. Same with Ice Bear, same sort of deal with the Icebound God. But this card can let me search out fists from the deck, so it's even better. 3 copies of Ghoti Chain to banish one of my fish in order to summon out a different one, or even better, banishing Zep, you know, things of that nature, just to get other fish onto the board. Then I can use things like Zep on my opponent's turn. The works. 3 copies of Torrential Tribute to field them my opponent, you know, that sort of thing. You know, just really good. I can protect myself from it. If I'm banished, it's fine. And 3 copies of Ghoti Fury to interrupt my opponent. For the extra deck, we have things like Abyssal Keeper, 1 White Aura Porpoise, 1 Avion Post, we have White Aura Dolphin and Monoceros. We don't go into these 3 very often, but you know, they're all options here. 1 copy of Askin, 1 Gulglim, 1 White Aura Whale who misses timing all the time, so you rarely summon him on your opponent's turn, which would have been great if you could summon on your opponent's turn, but it's very finicky. Very, very, very finicky. We have things like our Radish Crocodragon Archithis, our Ghoti of the Deep Beyond, our boss. We have things like White Aura Hamut, which is like a big beat stick. And then, of course, we have our fusions for our Ready Fusion. Things like Rare Fish, Marine Beast, the Deep Sea Shark, the Man-Eating Black Shark, just big dudes. Just big old fusion dudes, and they're all fish, of course. As for the side deck, if you want other copies of Enoch or Snopios, those are always available. Things like the Gold Flying Fish can destroy your opponent's cards. Things like Oyster Maester, when sent to the graveyard, will get yourself a token, which is good for just continuing into other plays. You have things like Paces, the Light of the Ghoti, which I would recommend potentially running a copy or 2 of this card, just to have an additional tuner that you can, you know, summon out to the board, do additional synchros on your opponent's turn, that whole shtick. There's also just a more big wave, small wave, especially if you're playing more of the big Ghotis. And then there's things like Oh Fish, which can negate monster effects by shuffling banished cards back into the deck. It has to be the main deck though, and you usually want to keep your cards banished, but in a long-term sort of game, this could be useful. I would also consider a copy of Terraforming in this deck, just to make it so that you can get your field spell a little bit more. But that was day 81, everybody. So thanks for watching. As always, tomorrow begins Goat Week, where we will be doing 7 decks of the Goat format. So I hope to see you guys there. And it's going to be old Spooky Memphis who's going to be headlining that one. It's going to be very interesting seeing old Spooky do that. So thanks again for watching, everybody. See you guys again. You'll see me in a week. You'll see Spooky tomorrow. So till tomorrow, y'all stay safe and stay happy. You have a good one. We'll see you then.